chips, raking off the tables, or ringing the bandit spells. This story adds a drag to tell in some ways, 'cause I'd lost every dime I laid on the line. But the cleaner from Des Moines could put a coin in the door of a John and get 20 for 1. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head, but I said, dear doctor, I think that it's you instead, 'cause I got a thing that's unique and new. It proves that I'll have the last laugh on you, 'cause instead of one head, don't you know, I got two, and you know 2 heads are better than one.
There we go.
Tony Guerrero.
Tierney Sutton. And I'm sure we'll have her back here sometime in the next year or
Absolutely.
two. And then now, somebody who's been in your world for a long time, we played now. So you saw what it looked like when we had the open air stage facing this way, facing the restaurant. What we did after that is we turned it around. Stage stayed in the same spot, but the city and the landlord opened it up and said, hey, you can't block the fire trucks down this road here, but take the whole parking lot. And so that's kind of what we did then after that.
Like a 100-foot tent.
Had it was 30 by 100 in one of those Coachella stagecoach tents. And so one of the first folks that came, and we did literally well over 100 concerts out there.
I think so.
Yeah, and but Poncho, tell us about bringing Poncho in.
For those of you who are uninitiated to some of the great Latin jazz players, at Steamers I ran quite a bit of Latin jazz with Francisco Aguavella and Bobby Redfield, and of course Poncho Sanchez, the Banda Brothers, and Poncho has won like 6 Grammy Awards, and he's just somehow he made Steamers a home because he lives in Norwalk and he toured the world, but we would get him like once every 6 weeks or so at Steamers and sell out both shows. And so we developed a wonderful relationship, and both Tony and Ramon Banda used to play in his band. They're both deceased, unfortunately, now, but Poncho and I have remained friends for a long time. Yet we didn't at Steamers do much of a Latin jazz theme here at all. And so we were talking with Francisco Torres, and he says, why don't you have Poncho here? And we did it, and it was a great show. We should listen to it.
Here we go, Poncho Sanchez, live from the tent.
Para bailar
Yeah, Pancho Sanchez. So eventually, I guess it was in January of 22, we came back inside. And we had done a little work, because for basically a year and a half, more than that, man, almost 2 years, this room that you're sitting in right now was a storage area for everything that was going in and out, in and out, in and out all the time. I mean, it was unbelievable. I can't imagine doing that again. I had no idea what we were getting into. But when we came back, we'd done a few things, and we got some screens, video wall, and made the stage bigger, and we were back and better than ever as far as I'm concerned.
And we've also continued to stream the stuff live to the audience. And for those of you patrons here, obviously know it, but the sound quality of the stage is phenomenal. And what goes through on the streaming is matches that also. And that has been a great attraction for a lot of people here too. Plus, for the most part, people stay quiet during the performances. And what we got coming up here is an interesting thing. This is a Champion Fulton, if you've not heard her. She's an incredible jazz pianist and vocalist. And her father, Stephen, is a trumpet player and played with Clark Terry. And Champion grew up as just a wee child with Clark Terry the whole time, and under his guidance and all that, started getting into the music. Now, Champion tried to get a gig at Steamers, and I guess I ignored her or whatever. I did not know of her talent. I got so many people that were trying to play there that I couldn't keep up with it, and I didn't do it. And then once COVID hit and all that, I was watching something on Instagram, and I saw her, and I said, "Oh my God, this person's wonderful." And so she said, "Well, don't you remember me? I tried to get a gig there." And I said, "No." And she goes, "Well, come, I'm going to be in Santa Barbara." So I went up there with Kevin Canner, and he was playing, and she was fabulous. And we've booked her here a few times, and I think John and Joe even had her there, and she's just incredible. Champion Fulton. You got to check her out.
Well, here we do right now.
There we go.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's some real jazz trivia for you. I cried for you. Now it's your turn to cry over me. Every road has a turning. That's one thing you're learning. I cried for you. What a fool I used to be. Now I found two eyes a little bit bluer, found a heart a little bit truer. I cried for you. Now it's your turn to cry. Your turn to cry. Your turn to cry over me. I cried for you. Now it's your turn to cry over me. Every road has a turning. That's one thing you're learning. I cried for you. What a fool I used to be. Now I found two eyes a little bit bluer, found a heart a little bit truer. I cried for you. Now it's your turn to cry over me. turn to cry over me. Every road has a turning. That's one thing you're learning. I cried for you, what a fool I used to be. Now I found two eyes a little bit bluer, found a heart a little bit truer. I cried for you, now it's your turn to cry. Your turn to cry, your turn to cry over me.
All right, Champion Fulton. Champion has performed here, what, at least 3 or 4 times, I believe, right?
3 or 4 times, and she's all over the world. She lives part-time in Sweden and part-time in New York and part-time in Oklahoma with her parents there.
Well, Terrence, we're getting close to winding this down tonight, but you just need to know that I personally just appreciate all of just the incredible value that you bring to what we do here. Your time is appreciated, just your expertise and your love. You know, Terence Love is a man who loves music and loves musicians, and that's my kind of people. And there's folks watching right now that share that love, and folks in this room as well. And it's great that together here in Orange County we support jazz, and to have Joe Rothman and John McClure here from the Sunset Jazz as part of this to celebrate you too, because they've known you a long time. And
Very, very long time.
And Joe has a little something special for you, Terrence. He's going to bring a little something up for you here. But yeah, welcome to the stage, Joe Rothman.
Oh.
The I don't know what we call you, the chairman of the board, the executive director of Sunset Jazz.
Some people call him the bear.
El Presidente. Yeah. Hey, oh, and it should be noted, so Terrence is an incredible photographer, and if you notice on the Facebook posts and things, oftentimes he posts the portraits of the artists that are here and performing, and it's quite a gift that he has. So he's not only a curator of music, fine musician, but also an incredible photographer.
Thank you.
Okay, now that he gave away the gift, we'll move on to the closing statement. How many of you came here or made reservations for tonight to see Graham Dector? Anybody other than me? Okay. Well, anyway, obviously I was disappointed when Graham got COVID and couldn't be with us. But I tell you, as I sat there and watched this show, I would be so happy to do this show many times and miss Graham Dector the rest of my life. This is a great American success story up here, not including this guy. But what they've done here at Campus JAX is spectacular. I think we met, you started in 1995, didn't you?
Correct. October 15th, 1995, I opened the door. Or 94, I opened the doors.
Oh, so you opened your doors before we opened our doors?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to check that out.
And
I'm not sure about it.
And I closed my doors a lot earlier than you.
Anyway, he started then a year or before we did with the West Coast Jazz Party. And the one thing about tonight, John and I get pretty puffed up about what we've done, but we're leaving humiliated tonight after we hear what these guys went through during COVID and with the parking lot and, you know, making this guy a star. Jesus Christ, is there no end to the miracles in this place? Anyway, Steamers, if you never got to Steamers, think of it, it's a restaurant without a kitchen. So that tells you that tells you they were climbing a hell of a mountain when they did Steamers. And then Terrence was the doorman, and so that's another climb. And without that, they were still very, very successful. The great thing he did, the smart thing he did, he bought a great piano. I don't know if he bought it. I think he stole it, but it was a great Steinway, right?
It actually was a Yamaha.
That's what I said. Can't you? Your mic not working? Anyway, he had this. What'd you say it was?
I sold the Steinway.
Anyway, he had this great piano. He had a great attitude, and he was able to get some of the greatest musicians. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing, I don't remember their names. They were, believe it or not, older than I am. But anyway, he came from Europe directly to his place and played for him, and it was just a great place to go, and we were all so lucky to have him there. And he treated them so well that it was just fun to be there. John and I, when we heard about tonight, wanted to get a little gift for our good friend here. And no matter what this gift is, it couldn't be half as big as the gift that this guy has given music in Orange County over the years. So please. Anyway, it's a book. It's 3 books, actually. There's 2 of them in here that is Jazz for Dummies. And the other one is if you...
It was a creature of habit. And I can tell you that you're either on his side or you're not on his side. And I made sure, Joe let me know that, and I made sure that I saved him a spot at the end of we had a 34-foot long bar, but there were only 2 bar stools, because I didn't want to have bar stools where people were making noise and all that. So I had 2 at the end, and Joe always had one of them. He always had a 3-cheese panini. Is that correct? And, that's right. And, the kindest man, the most driven man that I've seen, and I took a lot of his advice and continue to take that over the years. Him and John and I have had a wonderful relationship. I helped them with the website and all that on all of their adventures and their gigs and all that stuff, and I look forward to doing it. And this young man just turned 70? 50 on December 22nd, I believe, and he's a very, very special man to me, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you too, John. Thank you. 90. Can you believe that? And he plays tennis all the time.
That's right. He's actually gets around the court really well.
But before we go, okay.
Tony. Yeah, you sure can.
Yeah, Tony's got a couple minutes.
I'm just going to read something.
All right.
It's a little long, but I'll try to go. I'll edit as I read.
Okay.
Just because we're talking about Terence and his contribution here, and this also will apply to Campus JAX. But I wrote this and posted it in 2015 as Steamers was closing, and I'm just going to read a part of it here. So it said, I've played many clubs over the years, and I've been blessed to call 2 now legendary clubs my home, the Cafe Lido in Newport Beach until 1994, and Steamers Jazz Club in Fullerton. And I'll continue, this is before Campus JAX was around, and I'll continue to play clubs the rest of my life, I'm sure, but these kinds of venues may never come my way again. It has. Venues where I feel like family, not just an occasional performer. Jazz at its best is art, and art is a fragile thing. It's like a vapor or a speck of dust in the wind, one quick breeze of greed or indifference, and poof, it's gone. What remains in its place is merely an imitation of art. It may look like art, but it is instead a fabrication, a copy. A sellable poster of the Mona Lisa still holds a beautiful image, but it isn't the real thing. Art requires great care and stewardship. That which is fragile is easily destroyed when not handled correctly. The art of jazz requires nurturing from 3 types of people: the artist, the audience, and the facilitator. The artist is responsible for creating art from things that are precious and unique to our humanity: internal reflection, personal experience, communication with others, honesty, intellect, creativity, education, honed skill. The artist builds a life around the pursuit of truth and beauty, but must do so without the promise of recognition, be it fame or money. The audience is responsible for making thoughtful choices, like the choice to attend a concert instead of stay home, the choice to purchase a recording, the choice to listen to the live music instead of talk through it, the choice to invite others, the choice to learn and understand the history of the art, the choice to care about it and pursue art instead of live with indifference to it. And then there's the facilitator, the unsung hero, the one who makes a way for the artist and the audience to connect. This is the person who must not only understand the art and the artist and share the heart of the audience, but then also assumes the financial risk. Whether a club owner, record label, radio host, or promoter, the facilitator understands that art needs a showcase. A painting needs a wall upon which to hang to be seen, a poem needs a page from which to be read, and music needs to be performed and heard. The facilitator must choose to walk a financial tightrope in order so that the artist can create and the audience can listen. The facilitator must walk that fine line between art and commerce with an ever-present eye for that great art trampler, greed. Pursue art for money, and you've essentially killed that for which you've tried to promote, but constantly lose money, and you can no longer be a facilitator. It's a path few of us have been able to stomach to walk. Sadly, while many facilitators may start out with good intentions, they eventually fall victim to the financial pressures involved. I can't say I blame them. Oops, I just lost it. Where'd it go? Here it is, sorry. I can't say I blame them. It's a hard road. But how much more then should we appreciate the ones who keep up the fight? So I go on a little bit more, but I'm just going to close with the last thing I said was finally, thank you to the facilitator, Terence Love, the one who for 21 years absorbed the risk because he loved the art and the artist and because he felt called to provide for the audience. Thank you for the stage you created for us. Thank you for the numerous relationships you built and sustained in your space. Thank you for, wow, it keeps closing on me. Thank you for 8,000 unique, never to be recreated nights of music. Thank you for taking the risk on our behalf so that thousands of people could create and enjoy art. Thank you for choosing art over greed. You never brought in rock bands, DJs, karaoke, or any of the other things that so many club owners try to do in order to turn higher profits. You stuck with jazz, straight ahead jazz, no less, against the odds and gave us 21 incredible years. We recognize your sacrifice for our art. Thank you from a very grateful jazz community. So that was for Terence. And now
Can I
we
kiss you
extend.
now?
We extend. No, the restraining order is still in effect. But we extend that thanks now to Campus JAX, to Tim and to
Absolutely.
Jack and the family here, and again you, the audience. And I'm sorry that was a little long and uninvited, but it just felt like the right time. So, yeah.
Much appreciated. Thank you, Tony. And again, Tony is a really important part of the family here and the organization. Thank you. And one of the things is that we get to enjoy, first of all, we don't bring music in that we aren't going to enjoy ourselves, right? And sometimes just magic breaks out. And so here's this next piece from Leslie Page. Happened out in a tent, and it's the most commented performance. People that were there still will comment about it when they come in, recently even. And it's very memorable to me as well. And let's see if you remember this one. But there's something about this performance that was very special.
You got to love Leslie.
Yes.
Let's listen.
Did the world get a little bit colder? Not wiser, just a little bit older. So slow that we're bound to fall over. Did the heart grow a little bit harder? Too much, too late, too far, too gone. But wasn't it kind of wonderful? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, baby? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, wonderful? You can trick, flick a switch, negative, break the circuit between us. Electricity lingers in our fingers. You can burn every fuse and refuse, turn your positive minus. Electricity lingers in our fingers.
searching for the sunrise. Remember when you put the stars into my eyes.
Wasn't it kind of wonderful?
Wasn't it kind of wonderful?
Wasn't it kind of wonderful, baby? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, wonderful? Oh,
You can trick, flick a switch, negative, break the circuit between us. Electricity lingers in our fingers. You can burn every fuse and refuse, turn your positive minus. Electricity lingers in our fingers. Wasn't it kind of wonderful? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, baby? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, wonderful? Oh, but wasn't it kind of wonderful, wonderful? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, baby? Wasn't it kind of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful? You can trick, flick a switch, negative, break the circuit between us. Electricity lingers in our fingers. You can burn every fuse and refuse, turn your positive minus. Electricity lingers in our fingers. You can trick, flick a switch, negative, break the circuit between us. Electricity lingers in our fingers. You can burn every fuse and refuse, turn your positive minus. Electricity lingers in our fingers.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, we're going to wrap it up here now, T-Love.
Thank you.
We got one more thing, and it'll kind of be that. It's an amazing song. One of the best performances that have happened in the whole Campus JAX ecosystem. Because you remember in 2022, as one of our crypto jazz festivals, we did it down at the Barclay.
That's right.
Remember that?
That's right.
We did 3 nights down there that were of some spectacular performances.
Eddie Daniels.
That's right. Gordon Goodwin's Big Fat
And
Band.
What's coming up?
New York Voices.
And
And the and what we did in the afternoon on Sunday was Abrazo
Abrazo.
with Tony. And this is the kind of the ending of that. So it's kind of long. So if if you need to leave quietly. We appreciate you guys being being quiet tonight.
It should be on.
Because music is to be heard
Check.
when it's performed like this. And of course, Jack Jasper,
Hello,
who's
hello.
been cranking out on Jack Shrimp for 30 years now plus.
Yeah.
Well, before I get too far in there, I wanted to say some special thanks to Tim Ellis, the in-house producer here, put this whole show together. Doesn't get enough credit for all the work he does. And he brought a lot in here with the screens and the video and all that sound in there. So he's a huge part of what Steamers Jazz and everything at Campus JAX has been. And then also, obviously, kudos to Tony Guerrero, who's been a big part of that as well. And then, you know, when you saw that video, that last video in the tent was an amazing deal because I did a quick pivot out there with the outdoors, and I have a lot of thank yous for that. We had the city of Newport Beach that allowed us to do that when everybody else in the whole country was telling everybody they couldn't open for business. The city of Newport Beach was pro-business and gave us a chance to do it outside, social distance, and we did it right. And so they get a big thing. We wouldn't have been able to do it without their permission. And then Chura Tent, the people that supply all the tents, donated that tent for us for that. QSC donated a whole nother sound system for us to go out to the tents. So we had a whole nother sound system to go outdoors. And my staff every night took all the tables and chairs from inside their restaurant and took it out to the tent every single night, put the carpets down, put the tents in, put the uplights up. And I missed the tent, but I don't miss that part. And they ran the food
that
out from
was
the kitchen.
They had
brutal.
the
That was brutal.
100-yard dash with the food
Yeah,
and drinks.
I made them pay for the workout, so it worked on there. And yeah, so it was, and a lot of that was due to the donations and things like that because one of the things that we did, and the city got behind it, and the Chura Tent got behind it because what we did when we opened up from the pandemic and for these shows, we did all those those the first shows that we had up there were all donated to Jack's Feed the Need to help feed the homeless population here in the homeless shelters in Orange County, and we've kept that ongoing since the pandemic. We've served over 22,000 meals to the homeless shelters out there, and that was a big part of why everybody was donating all of those things to us because of that community work we were doing. And then the musicians, and that we were able to keep because LA we got musicians, the jazz musicians coming in from New York and from LA because they were shut down. So this was the only place I know of in the country that was permitted during that first part of the pandemic. So I just wanted to say thank you to Chura and QSC and the city of Newport Beach, and then Tony and Tim and Terrence all did these broadcasts, streaming broadcasts, to keep all that alive and going too. So that kind of just kept everything going. So thank you to all you guys, and thank you to Terrence. Love you.
That's right, Terrence. T-Love.
Jack Jasper. All right, well, if we're going to play that, I want to say a little bit of my thing. I want to thank, first of all, the audience that's always came and supported jazz it's been 30 years since I opened Steamers. Thank yourself, guys. Round of applause. Of course, John and Joe over there, and Jack mentioned the staff. Lauren, our manager here, John on sound, and Golden on sound. Everyone who worked very hard, and those days with the tent, I mean, this music that we continue to carry on was vital. Emotional support for all the people that were going through all that stuff during there, and Tim's drive specifically to keep this stuff going was tireless. It was tireless, and you know, I just want to thank you for continuing this, for inviting me to bring Steamers Jazz at Campus JAX, and keep doing it. I'm here.
That's the real sign back
That's
there on the
sign.
wall.
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you, before I exit, quick story about that sign. When I closed Steamers in 2015, and I mean I closed it because I sang on the stage with Tony, the last thing, and when I was breaking everything down, Tony says, "Can I have that sign?" And I'm like, "Take it, man." You know, I was done at that point, and he put it in storage till we started doing this thing up there, and it's been up there for a while now, and I just love you all, and thanks for supporting this jazz all this time. I'll see you guys next Thursday.
That's right. Tony's going to take us out here with his finale from Abrazo. It's a land of make-believe.
wondering what this world's about. I know a place that has the answer. It's a place where no one dies. It's a land where no one cries. And good vibrations always greet you. How I love when my thoughts run
you so much for being with us tonight. Joey and Miles and Lyman and Mark and Charles, Ginger and Bill and Tawanda. My name's Tony. Thank you so much for being here.
Tony Guerrero, abrazo. Tawanda, Ginger Murphy, Bill Cantos, Charles Rosario, Lyman Medeiros, Mark Fisher, Miles Jensen, Joey De Leon, Tony Guerrero, abrazo.